I am so excited to be reminiscing about this trip because, to be honest, I still can't believe that this trip happened.
It is actually surreal that we're able to get out there finally after visiting Walt Disney World our whole lives and then up and moving our lives to Walt Disney World.
Yep.
I never really thought that we would actually get out to Disneyland, the OG, anytime soon.
Well,
but the stars aligned.
We have Disney World or Disney at home.
We do.
So sometimes it feels like...
But we don't have the OG.
Sure, but...
We don't have somewhere where Walt walked.
Yes, but what I'm saying is we have Disney at home. There was never like a sense of urgency.
No.
To need to plan a trip when it's like, you know what I can do? I can drive 10 minutes and
for sure. If I need my Disney fix, I live right there.
Right.
For sure.
Exactly.
But going out to Disneyland, I'm going to keep calling it Walt Disney World. Going out to Disneyland in California, it really truly felt almost like a pilgrimage.
Yeah, I guess
because
it did.
it's almost like the Disney Holy Land, if you will, like where the Disney Jesus walked, like Walt Disney. You know,
sure.
He's like the dude. Like you go to the in the Middle East, like to the Holy Land where Jesus walked, quote unquote. You go to Disneyland where Walt walked. So
sure.
it's kind of it's a very loose connection, but it's kind of similar to that. But
the Holy Land.
It is truly the Holy Land. It's the one Disney park where Walt actually stepped foot in.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool to have finally made the journey 3,000 miles away from Florida out to Anaheim, California. Lovely Anaheim, California.
And luckily we didn't have to walk the 3,000 miles like some pilgrimages have.
I would have walked 500 miles and then 500 more.
I don't know. I probably would have stopped at, I don't know.
But I would have to done that 3 times.
I probably would have stopped at about 10 and been like, I need a nap and a snack.
Yeah. Bumped Vanessa Carlton the entire way.
Yes, exactly.
I would walk 1,000 miles, or however it goes.
Sure. That's what we would have to do.
But yeah, this episode is all about our adventure out to Disneyland Resort. And you're going to come along with us, and we're going to recap everything we did out there and what it was like going out there for the first time, the rides we rode, the places we visited, the food we ate. We're going to touch on it all in this truly magical episode.
Yes.
I'm very excited to talk about this.
I'm excited too. And we did so much, but we have done, I think, a very good job of condensing everything.
Yeah.
So the people
we
listening
took notes while we were out there.
Can understand what we did and what we got to do. And just what our experience was, especially being Walt Disney World, junkies, regulars, to be walking into a park, any theme park for the very first time.
It felt surreal walking to a Disney park that you'd never been to.
Yes.
It was like so cool and so unique.
Yeah.
But also felt very same or very similar in ways.
Well, let's talk about first off the differences, just the factual differences between Walt Disney World and Disneyland.
In Walt Disney World here in Florida, there are 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, Disney Springs, and over 20 different resort hotels, which is crazy to think about. Each location requires transportation to get to, so you need to get on a bus, a monorail, a Skyliner, a boat, or your own car. But nothing is really close enough to walk, except a few hotels are near different parks or in between different parks and so on and so forth. But for the most part, you need some mode of transportation to get to. Walt Disney World, the property in Orlando, is literally 50 times larger, roughly 25,000 acres or over 40 square miles, twice the size of Manhattan, which is insane to think about.
That's a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah. And the craziest part about this, and it's not written on our little fact sheet here, only about a third of the land is being utilized right now.
That's
with
wild.
All the stuff we listed: 4 parks, 2 water parks, Disney Springs, 20 resorts.
That's wild.
It's crazy. There's so much room for expansion. They have to leave a large chunk of it for conservation areas and things like that. But a large chunk of it is still unused, and they could almost double the property, which is wild.
That's so wild.
Want to talk about eensy weensy Disneyland in comparison?
Okay, yeah. So Disneyland Resort has two parks, Downtown Disney, which is their Disney
A much
Springs.
smaller version of Disney Springs.
And they only have 3 resorts
Crazy.
on property. 3 compared to Walt Disney World's 20. Everything is within walking distance. Downtown is right between the 2 parks. So you can walk between one park, Downtown Disney, other park.
That is the coolest part about Disneyland.
And then it's roughly 500 acres in size.
It's crazy.
Compared to the how many acres?
25,000 acres.
That doesn't even seem like real numbers.
No, it doesn't.
Now, I will say that just looking at those numbers, we know why, after they built Disneyland, why they were looking for a large piece of land for Walt Disney World to be on.
For sure.
Because they realized, like, we need more space.
Yeah, we
for
can't do a whole
park.
lot more with this.
So those are some of the bigger differences. Another difference is if you're listening and you get a little confused about the two, Walt Disney World, Orlando, Florida, and Disneyland is in Anaheim, California. So we decided that after our Backstreet Boys concert, the last time we left you on this particular adventure,
we were waking up in Vegas.
We had just gone to the Backstreet Boys concert at the Sphere the night before, which in and of itself was the most insane 24 hours for us. It was going to Vegas, experiencing Vegas, going to the most insane boy band concert in our lifetime.
Nope. Simba's coughing up a hairball. Gotta love it. Good job, buddy.
he's like, don't go back. So going to the most insane boy band concert of our lifetime at the Sphere. That will go down in history. And now we're going to go to Disneyland for the first time. What kind of trip is this even?
It all fell together. The first thing we did to plan this trip was literally buy Backstreet Boys tickets. And then we decided that, well, through work, I was able to get us a stay out in Disneyland. So
yes,
it was a really, really cool experience, and all the stars aligned where we were able to book the stay at Disneyland at the Grand Californian Resort in conjunction with the day after our Vegas stay and the Backstreet Boys show.
And
so
when
it was one fell swoop.
When I bought the tickets, I said, well, I'm going to buy them. And if I can't go, we'll just sell them, like to somebody, like a friend or something, whatever. And then you said, what if we go to Disneyland after? And I was like, that's too much. And then I was like,
but it's not, because Disneyland is really close to Vegas in the grand scheme of things.
Exactly.
It is actually, we flew from Las Vegas into John Wayne Airport, which is Orange County, which is, the flight was like 40 minutes. Like, it felt like we were going down before we were all the way up.
Honestly, it also felt like the trip from our resort, like in Caesar's Palace, to dragging our suitcases across the, like, just length of Caesar's Palace, which is like a city length, feels like.
So big.
To take an Uber, to drag our stuff all the way across the airport, that felt longer than the flight.
For sure.
Like, it was wild. And then we landed at John Wayne Airport, and the first thing that we did was we called an Uber or a Lyft. I can't even remember which one it was.
Rideshare.
We called a rideshare, and we jumped in it, and we headed to Disneyland. I will say that everybody just drives super fast.
Yeah, California was wild. Getting to the hotel was not my favorite ride.
No, I was just like, all right, I'm too tired to stress about this. I'm just watching California fly by. But once we got there, like you said, it was like 25-minute Uber.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
And then we pulled up and we stayed at Disney's Grand Californian Resort and Spa. Now, if you haven't put the two together, here in Florida, we have the Grand Floridian. There they have the Grand Californian.
But the Grand Californian is very different.
It doesn't look like Grandma's house.
It feels like it's like Wilderness Lodge West. If you've been to Wilderness Lodge,
yes.
In Walt Disney World, it feels like a smaller version of that on the West Coast, but they call it Grand Californian.
Yes.
It is a absolutely gorgeous resort. It's one of the deluxe resorts out there in Disneyland. It is not cheap to stay there with your own money, but thankfully we had a pretty good hookup out there. So
yes.
It worked out pretty nicely for us. 4 nights at the Grand Californian would have cost us a pretty penny if we actually had to pay for it. The coolest part, though, about the Grand Californian Resort is that it was literally like a stone's throw from downtown Disney. You could walk outside the resort, and within 30 seconds, you were in downtown Disney.
I did just want to say really quick, we were not hosted by Disney.
No, we were not.
Maybe someday we would love to be
I
hosted
earned
by
it.
Disney. But I
earned it.
just want you to state for anybody who's listening, we're not hosted by Disney. Hopefully, maybe someday, but not for this trip.
Through work, I earned us a hotel stay.
Woohoo! Because you're amazing.
So we didn't have to pay for it.
So we got there, and our room was going to be ready at, what was it, 3 o'clock, I believe. 3 or 4?
That's the check-in time that they said that would be the case.
Okay. So we went, and we were going to, I believe we were going to go walk around. I'm trying to, it's such a blur that first day because we just went from Vegas to Disneyland.
Yeah.
We went and checked in. The cast members were awesome. They gave us our first visit pins.
It felt surreal wearing a first visit Disney pin.
Right. Disneyland, though. This has been sitting on my work desk.
Yeah. They look the same, though.
And every time I look
I was
at it,
kind
I'm
of disappointed that it wasn't different.
Yeah. But
Just
this
has a different
one
logo
says
on it.
Disneyland,
Yeah.
and we wore them the whole time. Put them on your backpack strap so you doesn't pull your shirt or anything. And we got checked in to the resort probably about 3:30 or so.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We actually would have been good to go pretty much right away. But for some reason the resort reservation was booked with 2 queen beds. And so we actually asked them if it was possible to switch that to a king bed, and they were super accommodating.
Yes.
We just had to wait another 15 to 20 minutes or so to get that availability and get that room cleaned and all that. So
right.
they were awesome. The cast members at Grand California were great when we checked in.
Yeah. And once we were checked in, we went upstairs, and
I was itching to go.
for the first time, like in recent
Forever.
memory, literally in forever, we unpacked our suitcases.
I know. Yeah, we didn't unpack anything in Vegas except for the stuff we were wearing.
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah.
But we haven't done an unpack at a resort in I don't even know how long.
Yeah.
Because we got up to the resort and you were like, I'm gonna unpack, and I was like, oh my goodness, we're gonna be here long enough to do that.
But I was feeling the luxury. And I was like, I'm gonna put my stuff in the drawers. And I'm gonna hang up my shirts. And I'm gonna put my shoes together.
That was so smart, and it felt so much more like we were
Homey.
on vacation.
Yeah.
And once we got ready, because I still felt like we had Vegas all over us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We got ready to go into the parks. We got to experience what felt very strange to me, and I don't know if it felt very strange to you.
What's that?
Is being like, all right, let's head into the park, but by using our feet,
Right. Yeah.
to walk there without taking a car, bus, monorail, Skyliner, or boat. Are you kidding me?
Mhm.
I'm going to walk there?
Yeah.
Because when I first heard that, I was like, I've walked the entire length of Nevada.
But even
Please don't make me walk.
even when you stay at places like the Contemporary, the walk to Magic Kingdom is a good 10 minutes. And when you stay at the Boardwalk or Beach Club, the walk to Epcot, it's a little bit longer. But this was like literally a 2-minute walk to the gate. It was incredible.
Yeah. So we walked over to the parks. And one thing I guess I didn't realize is that the entrance to Disneyland is here. And the entrance to Disney California is basically kissing it. So it's like right here.
Yeah, they're facing each other.
They're like, I don't even know how far apart. A couple
maybe 100 yards,
If
like a football
that.
field, maybe.
If that, yeah. It's like, yeah, maybe about that. In my brain, it's a little bit shorter, but they have like guest services and stuff in
Right.
between. So walking up and seeing the entrance, it's almost like seeing Magic Kingdom and Epcot that close together. It was a mind trip. Like you were like, wait a second.
It was more like Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios because California Adventure, the front looks a lot like the front of Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, it really does though.
So it was weird seeing like the Magic Kingdom to my peripheral left and Hollywood Studios to my peripheral right.
Yes.
It was very weird, but so cool at the same time. It's so close.
Well, we decided to, since we were first visit to Disneyland,
Gotta
we had
go
to go to
there first.
Disneyland. We had to go see the castle.
Mm-hmm.
So
With our magnifying glass.
we'll get there. So we walk into Disneyland Park.
Yeah.
Probably around 4:00 ish.
Yeah.
And at this point, we had decided like no naps. We're just going straight through, and then at the end of the day, we're gonna pass out, so we're good to go the next day. So this was about 4:00 that we were going.
And Disneyland was open till 11 p.m. that night, so we still had a lot of time.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Now, we weren't trying to like go crazy.
No.
We wanted to like look around and enjoy things and do that kind of stuff. And take everything in because this is the first time that we were going to see these things. So we walked into Disneyland Park, and it's so odd because so much of Disneyland feels very much like Magic Kingdom.
For sure. The layout is very similar.
It almost hurts your brain that your brain is trying to make sense of something has changed since the last time I was here.
Yeah.
But you've never been there before.
The differences are definitely there, but the same basic idea of walk in under the train, Main Street USA, castle at the end of Main Street.
It feels so eerily similar.
Spoke design.
Magically similar, I guess.
Adventureland and Frontierland on your left, Tomorrowland on your right, Fantasyland straight ahead. It's very similar layout, but they're also very different at the same time.
Yes. And the first thing we wanted to do is we wanted to see the castle.
Yeah.
Now,
we always heard how much shorter the Disneyland castle is than Walt Disney World. I believe it's about 100 feet shorter, to be exact. But walking in and looking down Main Street and not seeing the spires in the sky was so weird to me.
it was
so weird.
Weird. And
I knew it was coming, but it was so weird.
It was so shocking because first off, Main Street USA looks nicer.
I agree.
It looks so much nicer.
I agree. I like the road, like the Main Street USA road itself has all the beautiful red brick on it.
Yes.
Like it's so nice looking.
It's like going back in time to an old-timey town.
Yeah, for sure.
It's almost like frozen in time. But then you look down the road expecting to see the castle.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that like is coming to mind right now in comparison is if normally you looked at Dr. Evil and now you're looking at Mini-Me. Like that you're going, wait a second, where oh, hello, there you are.
Oh, you're so cute.
You're so cute. It was literally shocking, like Honey, I Shrunk the Castle shocking.
And not only is it not tall, but when you get up close to it, it takes like 10 seconds to walk through.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like it is crazy small. Although in the castle at Disneyland, and we'll touch on this a little bit later because we did it on a different day, they have a really cool walkthrough experience.
They do.
That you don't get in Orlando.
Right.
In that teeny weeny castle, there's a really cool experience in there, and you should definitely check it out.
Yeah. But seeing the castle is really cool. Even though it is shockingly small, it did feel like seeing something. I don't want to use the word magical, but seeing something historical.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The one that Walt built, the one that Walt saw.
Yeah.
Like Walt
the
made
one he
this.
lived for 11 years after it was open.
Mm-hmm. So that was really cool to just like be on those, like walking the same paths and being on the same ground, the holy ground, so to say.
For sure.
but that was our very first like moment of, oh my gosh, we're here at Disneyland. We immediately decided, what is something that we would like to do right now?
That is different than home. That's kind of what we wanted to focus on that first night, is let's do stuff that we don't have.
Yeah.
Specifically in Orlando. And the first ride that we settled on, which we do have in Orlando, but it's very different.
Yes.
Was Space Mountain.
Yes.
I had always heard that their Space Mountain was better. I didn't know until I tried it. And after riding it, I agree. 100%.
So their Space Mountain, if you go on our Space Mountain is a coaster. You sit in a row of one,
So it's 1-1-1.
1-1-1. And the entire coaster has drops, and it has different music, and it's kind of like a rougher coaster.
Rough to say the least, for sure.
Disneyland Space Mountain, you sit next to somebody, which
I loved that
was a
part of it.
trip.
Yeah.
Anyway, they have this really fun, like Alien Incredibles sounding type music.
Well, it's the same guy who composed The Incredibles.
Right. So that's why
Michael
it sounded
Giacchino,
like that.
Shout out.
But the craziest thing about Space Mountain for me was the fact that there were no drops.
There was a couple little tiny drops, but it wasn't anything notable.
Space Mountain
You're
at
mostly
Disneyland
going like around big circles quickly and
Yes.
smoothly.
There are not any drops, like coaster drops.
No,
there's movement, but there's no drops. And I felt like because I wasn't prepared for that the whole time, the first time we went, I was just waiting to drop.
Yeah.
Waiting to drop. And all you do is a lot of swirlies.
Yeah, but you go fast.
It's really fun and very smooth. But it was really crazy to go on that, and just the ride was not a copy paste scenario, and I loved that.
Loved it.
But Space Mountain was the first ride we went on. I loved Space Mountain too. And then we decided to kind of stay in the area that we were in. So we went on something called Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage,
which is a converted 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yes.
Which, if you don't remember what that is, it's a literal submarine ride. Like, you straight up climb into a submarine down these tiny little steps, and you sit on benches, back to back with other people. Like, it's a submarine.
You're underwater. The submarine itself, I'm not sure.
It doesn't fully submerge.
I didn't think it fully submerged, but you go through, and they've added all of these scenes, projections, different animatronics.
It was really neat.
It was really, really cute. I really like the way that they did that. It is
it's long.
I don't know if it's ADA accessible.
I don't know.
Because it's old.
Yeah.
It's old. And I thought it was rough enough being somebody who, can walk on 2 feet.
To get down in the submarine?
Yeah, to be able to, when I was walking down, I was like, I'm clumsy. Please, I can be clumsy, especially if I'm tired. Please don't trip and fall face first into this submarine.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting to be sitting on almost like a baseball seat, like when you go to like a baseball game, like the seat that
folds
pops down.
Yeah.
And having to lean over into the mirror, or not the mirror,
the little window,
like the submarine porthole. Yeah. So it was definitely something that they did a great job converting, it seems like. I mean, we say this as people who have never been on the original.
Right.
So, but that was really cute. I thought that was a great addition. You could not do that ride in Orlando.
Oh, God, no.
It would be so hot. It would just be a stinky fart box of grossness.
Stinky fart box of grossness. Clip that.
You couldn't.
No, it would be bad.
Can you even imagine?
It'd be so hot and muggy down there.
It would be so bad. So that is a California specific ride. after we went on Finding Nemo's submarine voyage, we went on Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, which we do have Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin here in Orlando. It is currently undergoing refurbishment. And their Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters is so much cooler than our Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger
Why
Spin.
do you say that? Because I don't particularly love the old version of the one that was here anyway.
So I love the old version, but you kind of have to like aim at the. So if you're listening, the way Buzz Lightyear works is you get scored on hitting targets with a little like
Zerg logo.
You Zerg targets with a little like space gun, a space pew pew, and
laser,
and so, with lasers. But you can't really. You can kind of see red lasers, and you kind of have to have a guesstimate of where your laser is.
Right.
So there's not really like. It's a little bit more difficult, and then it doesn't do anything. It doesn't react all the time. Sometimes things react like when something gets hit, but you don't know if it's you or somebody else.
Right.
And at Disneyland, if I'm remembering this correctly, the targets you hit would react, and the pew pew would react. So you knew what you were hitting. And sometimes when you're here at Disney World, before its refurbishment, you would just point and hope.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I thought that was really cool. That would be a ride that if I lived in Disneyland or we were there more often, I'd be like, I'm going to break the score.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They also had the handheld version of the guns too, right?
Yes.
Like you could move them around.
Yes. So I don't know what it's going to be when they reopen.
I would imagine it's going to be that.
I would hope so. But previously at Walt Disney World, it was like attached. So you had to turn the vehicle to point, where with at Disneyland it was attached to a wire, so you were able to pick it up and move it around anywhere you wanted. So I did like the flexibility of that ride, but I enjoyed those rides. I think they're fun.
I'm generally not a fan of those laser rides. I have a hard time seeing them. So it's just kind of point and hope, like Danny was saying. But it was fun. It was cool. It was cool to check it out and see what the differences were out there.
Yeah.
In California, because like Danny said, we have Space Ranger Spin here, and that was called Astro Blasters. So I wasn't sure if it was gonna be different, and it was. So that was cool. All right, moving on to our next ride. We decided to leave Tomorrowland momentarily because
the night was about to get rough.
It was about to get rough. If you've been on Dinosaur in Animal Kingdom in Walt Disney World, you've basically ridden the next attraction. And that was the Indiana Jones Adventure over in Adventureland, across Main Street, USA, over into Adventureland. Indiana Jones is one of my favorite franchises ever. I love those movies, especially the original 4. Let's not talk about the Shia LaBeouf or the other one because they're not great. But the original 4, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, the Last Crusade, original 3. Great movies. Love Harrison Ford. Love that character so much. And it was so cool to be able to finally ride this ride I had seen videos of, which the videos never do those kind of rides justice because they're so dark. I loved it. I loved being able to sit in that minecart and ride Indiana Jones Adventure for the first time, looking around, seeing the old... The animatronics were given great movie ride. The Indiana Jones, like the way his mouth and face and stuff was moving. It was definitely giving like classic Disney animatronics.
Great movie ride for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I loved going through and seeing the temple and the Forbidden Eye and the fire explosions, all that stuff. It was really cool to truly experience like a thrill ride at Disney for the first time. And I'm really excited to see what's to come here in Animal Kingdom pretty soon.
I mean, you've also been on Dinosaur, which is the exact same.
Right. It's the same ride system, but they're also converting Dinosaur here to Indiana Jones, not the Indiana Jones Adventure. It's going to be a completely different story and completely different ride show building.
Would you say that this was rougher than dinosaur?
At times I think it was.
Because at times I felt like I was getting like jostled, like more so than I was used or normally am on dinosaur.
I think the vehicles were a little bit different.
I also was thinking about it the last time I rode dinosaur, that because I can't see what's coming, I'm maybe a little more loosey-goosey when I'm on dinosaur, which when I was on Indiana Jones, since I could see what was coming, maybe I was bracing myself and it felt
fair,
rougher. Yeah. I loved Indiana Jones. I have definitely warmed up to the idea of them bringing it to Animal Kingdom once it's the new story and stuff. I will say, I still think they should keep dinosaur because it's one of a kind. But I digress. I mean, isn't Indiana Jones dated though?
But the technology is going to be new.
But I mean, I'm talking about the one in Disneyland.
Well, yeah, that one's open in 2002, so it's definitely older.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I mean, I don't know how old Dinosaur is. 1999.
It opened with the park in 98, I believe.
98. So I mean, Indiana Jones isn't that much older,
right,
or younger.
But I'm saying like the new one that they're going to be converting Dinosaur to, the animatronics and the effects and all that stuff is going to be brand new.
Right, but you're saying that if Dinosaur is out of date, in theory, isn't the ride we did in Disneyland out of date?
No, it definitely is. It definitely is for sure. Or it's on the older side.
Right.
But it's Indiana Jones. It's classic.
It is classic. I'm just saying, I still love Dinosaur. I do still think there's an argument for it to stay, but we don't make those decisions. Gone. I know.
Countdown to Extinction. It's its original name.
How dare you?
But yeah, loved Indiana Jones.
I did love it. That was one ride that when in later days we wanted to go back and go on it again, and I was like, I need to go on this again.
Yeah.
I thought that it told a great story. The visuals were amazing though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The updated projections and stuff that they did the last couple of years, they look great.
Yeah, everything looks great, but it's 1000% giving great movie ride animatronics where they're like ma 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 ma, which is fine. It's just you can tell how far the technology has come.
For sure.
Now speaking of rough rides, the
nice transition.
next ride that we went on was going to be one of our last rides for the night. I said, I want to go on the Matterhorn because we're at Disneyland. Yeah. That's like your classic Disneyland ride.
Also, can we talk about how weird it is to walk down Main Street, USA, looking at the castle, seeing Adventureland on your left, Frontierland on your left, Fantasyland over there, Tomorrowland over there, and then seeing Expedition Everest just to your right.
It's so strange.
It's so bizarre to see the big snowy mountain right there on the right
which
side.
is the Matterhorn bobsleds.
Right.
Yes, it's so weird. Like I said, my brain at times was like, I don't know where I am because I've been going to Walt Disney World since I was like for 30 years or so. Like that's crazy. But Matterhorn bobsleds, we got in line. For some reason, I'm guessing because it only takes a couple people at a time, that line felt like it took an eternity. And then there was like a weird merge point where they were like merging people and having some people go this way and some people go this way and other people go this way. And I know that there's a reason, but I couldn't figure it out. We finally got on Matterhorn and
barely got off.
I don't think I have ever cackled so hard.
I was going to comment on that.
On a ride because the Matterhorn bobsleds is like getting into an almost car accident.
Many times.
Many times. But not quite. Not in a painful way. Well, maybe in a painful
Think Disney World Space Mountain, but like 3 times rougher.
I was cackling. I was sliding down the seat. By the time I got off the ride, my butt was all the way at the end of the chair. I think my hat was like all askew. I probably had like
disheveled.
A shoe half off. Like it was just the most insane ride, and it was fast, but also slow at the same time somehow. I don't understand. What did you think of Matterhorn?
It was like Space Mountain fast. Like it's only going 25, but it feels much faster than that.
Yeah.
I don't. It was wild, man. It was really cool to be able to do that, but I'd always heard that it was crazy rough. And you definitely shouldn't go on it if you have any back issues or anything like that. But it was fun and sitting near you, giggling your butt off the entire time
I could not
was
stop
making
laughing
me laugh. It was so funny.
because my butt kept bouncing off the seat, and I was like, "What is happening? I'm not a small child. How am I
Right.
being bounced everywhere?"
Exactly.
I will say though, just if you're listening, we went on that one time.
Yeah, we had to do it once.
Well, I thought we were going to want to do it more than that, but after
We
that,
just never got around to it.
Yeah.
After that.
Well, we experienced the craziness that was Matterhorn bobsled. It was very fun.
We were trying to make like Gazelle and try everything.
We were trying everything. That's right.
Zootopia
Nice.
reference. Yeah.
Well, after we went on Matterhorn, we decided that it was time to slow down and try to catch a parade that you have wanted to see in person for a very long time.
So excited.
We grabbed some spots for the Paint the Night parade. And what did you think of the Paint the Night parade?
Disney Starlight at Magic Kingdom is really good. Paint the Night, spectacular. Spectacular. The floats are incredible. The music is super catchy. It does change slightly to each IP, but it keeps the same base lines and chorus and all that.
Right.
The When Will We See You Again from Wreck-It Ralph. I believe it was Owl City who did the song.
Yes.
But it changes based upon which float is in front of you, like the style of the music, but it's still the same song.
Right.
I love that. And then Festival Fantasy does the same thing. I love that. I think it's great. It's really creative how that works.
Yeah.
But the Paint the Night Parade floats were magnificent. Millions of lights.
And this is not a new parade. This is an old parade.
It was here for a while in California Adventure for a while, and then it went away, and then it came back to Disneyland.
So it went across the street.
It went across the street, yeah. Essentially, you don't have to get on like a plane or anything to get there,
Right.
But one thing that really stood out to me in comparison to Starlight, which this isn't going to be a comparison episode, but there were so many ground performers, and they were all in very illuminated outfits.
And it feels like that Paint the Night aspired to be, or not Paint the Night. Disney Starlight was aspiring to be what Paint the Night was.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many less performers. There's so many less floats. It's so much shorter.
I'm not sure how many, but it's dozens less.
Yes. And so Paint the Night Parade is definitely incredible. I will say I love this parade. I'm still sad that Magic Happens wasn't there.
Me too. Me too. Next time it'll be there, hopefully.
Oh my
Maybe.
gosh.
Depending on when the 70th goes till. I don't remember exactly when it ends.
Yeah. No, I was really, 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 really sad because I really wanted to see Magic Happen.
Because that's a day and a nighttime parade.
Yes. And that is like during COVID, every day I put it on and jumped up and down and said, everything's okay. Everything's okay.
Yeah, right.
And so for that to not be there bummed me out. But Paint the Night was definitely just like absolutely wonderful and good enough for me to forget that I missed that parade.
For sure.
So
what a great first day.
Yes. And then we walked back to the resort. Before we actually talk about going back to the resort, we got some food on the first day. Not a ton of food, it seems like.
When we walked in, we were pretty hungry, so we wanted to put a mobile order in somewhere. And I was looking at some of the menus, and I had made a list of things that I wanted to try. And boy, am I glad I wanted to try that. Because we ended up going to the Red Rose Tavern, which is in Fantasyland. And we made a mobile order for a dish called the Burger Fair Fold. And when I tell you that this was so good that we've tried to recreate it at home about 5 times, it was that good. It was like, picture a Taco Bell Crunch Wrap.
I feel like that's an insult.
No, it's not. It's the same exact folding thing.
I think Taco Bell is an insult.
Just hear me out. The people out there listening, they know what a Crunch Wrap is.
If you like Taco
Bell, I'm saying the the way the tortilla is folded
Okay.
and crisped.
Mm-hmm.
So picture a Taco Bell Crunchwrap, like the shape of the tortilla, like folded over 6 times and then grilled so it sticks. But inside, it is seasoned ground beef, white queso, burger sauce, and a hash brown patty. And it was incredible. Incredible.
So good.
To the point that we got it several times when we were out there.
And we have tried to recreate it. We found that the easiest way to recreate it is by having it in a taco form,
version, yeah.
as opposed to trying to do like, because I would call it more like a flat burrito more than I would.
It's trust me, if you Google a picture of a Taco Bell Crunchwrap, it looks exactly the same.
I just feel like Taco Bell is trash, and this was
I'm
the
not
opposite
saying
of
that
trash.
Taco Bell is good. It's good when you're drunk. Yes, it is.
I don't.
It is. Anyway,
Can't relate.
the Burger Fair Fold, if you guys have a chance to go out to Disneyland, go to the Red Rose Tavern. It's basically this restaurant in Fantasyland that looks like Pinocchio's Village House and Gaston's Tavern had a baby. And you go in there, and it's never crazy busy, and you order the Burger Fair Fold, and I promise you we will not let you down. It was so good.
I also have to say the reason I can't relate is because Wawa and or breakfast food is the way to go, not Taco Bell.
Okay, we're not talking about Taco Bell.
Well,
It looks like a Crunchwrap. That's all I was getting
fine.
at. I'm not
Fine.
comparing it to
Fine,
Taco
it's a
Bell.
magical
Calm down,
Crunchwrap.
Danielle.
William,
Danielle.
you're gonna help me one last time.
William.
There you go. You
There
did the
we go.
Vecna voice. I can't do the Vecna voice. Well,
time.
we had the most amazing, not Taco Bell, Burger Fair Fold at Red Rose
You're
Tavern.
the worst. Why am I with you?
Because you love me.
Yeah,
Why am I with you eating Taco Bell trash? What are you, a
Easy.
raccoon eating trash?
Jesus Christ.
Well, one thing that we had during the Paint the Night parade, though, is by the time we got to the end of the night, we were like, we're hungry, but not too hungry, because we had each had one of the fair folds.
Yep.
We ended up getting a Disneyland churro with guava cream cheese, and I don't know what they're doing to their churros.
They're cooking them at the stands. That's what they're doing differently.
Okay, well, they're cooking them at the stand.
They are fresh AF.
They are so good. And we sat there and watched the parade with our churros and fist pump with our churros in hand.
Yeah.
And their churros are so freaking delicious.
So good. I was told by countless people who I was talking to before we went to Disneyland, and I promise you, the number one thing was like, you need to try the churros. They are so much better than here.
Did you know that you can actually order Disneyland churros?
Oh.
The same kind, like frozen or whatever, like however they come in a box. You have to get like a box of like 200 churros.
Oh my gosh.
But you can order them somewhere.
It's too many churros. We need like an extra freezer.
Or
for
a
that kind of
party.
stuff.
Or a churro party.
Yeah. Or a wedding.
Ooh.
Hello.
And that's all we're going to serve, churro.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you're eating. That's the plate.
Well, that concluded our food for that day. We went back to the resort, like
Crashed out.
crashed so hard. And I want to say also that night we got a Walmart order because we wanted to have like water and snacks and stuff, just some stuff with us. And we passed out. We did decide that the next day we were going to sleep a little bit because the previous like 48 hours had
They were a
not
whirlwind.
involved a ton of sleep.
Right.
And we also didn't want to destroy the rest of the days we had by trying to get up early.
Correct.
As much as you know, we talk about we're going to get up early and we're going to do things early sometimes. We are night people. We exist the best in the night.
I can get up early if I have to, but I don't like to.
I will get up early if I have to, but I'm still not a person until about 11 or 12.
At the earliest.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Especially the more tired I get. But we ended up going a little bit later in the park. So this was day 2 for us. And we wanted to go to Disney's California Adventure. So on day 2, we it feels like we didn't quite do as much at Disney's California Adventure.
No.
Now, as we talked about, you walk to the park.
We also stopped to eat a lot more that day.
Yeah, we did. We were trying other food.
Right.
But we that day we actually went in through is it the back side of the park?
You're entering by Grizzly Peak.
Okay.
So it's kind of the back side of the park.
It's a much shorter walk than going through downtown
But it's
Disney.
an entrance that's directly from Grand Californian. You go right into the park from the resort. And that was super cool.
Yeah, so we walked in, and the first thing that we needed to get to was a ride that my mom said that she loved so much. She wanted, she was like, you have to ride this. I was like, we're definitely going to ride it. But it was it's kind of like the most, I guess, talked about ride is
For sure,
Radiator Spring Racers, excuse me. Now, if you don't know what that is, this is in Cars Land. Cars Land is literally based off of the IP of Cars, like the movies.
In the small town of Radiator Springs.
Yes. So I personally think, and I don't know what you think, I think Cars, Radiator Spring Racers in Cars Land is, why am I blanking out? It is Test Track with but cars.
Yeah. I think it was a little bit better than Test Track,
It's
personally.
definitely a little smoother.
Oh, for sure. But I liked the theming and I liked the story.
The animatronics were really cool.
Amazing. I like the theming. I like the story a lot better on Radiator Springs Racers.
Yes.
Test Track has just never been a ride that I've loved. The new update is great, but it's still not a ride that I do every time. But I feel like Radiator Springs would be a must every time I go to California Adventure.
I will say, as somebody who went on Test Track my whole life and saw like the best version of Test Track back in the day, it's very nostalgic for me to go on that type of ride. Radiator Spring Racers, you go through like the inside area with all the animatronics and kind of like the adventure, the storytelling. And then at the very end, you race another vehicle, and either you or the other vehicle wins. So, and when you're racing, you're out like racing through the desert.
Into the mountains and whatever those structures are.
Yes.
The big rock structures.
Now, one thing I did want to say is on all of these rides, we did not know where the photos were.
No.
Where at Disneyland, if you're friends with me on like my Disney experience,
Disney World,
like you will catch all our photos. Pow.
Yep.
Right, like we are looking
except
at the
for
cameras.
Cosmic Rewind. I still can't figure that out.
I know. I'm always looking in the wrong place for that ride.
Right.
Our friend Eddie, he went on it, and he
looked at it?
Yes, on
Nice.
Gardens of the Galaxy. I was like, how did you do that? He was like,
Nice.
I saw it. I was like, but how?
Crazy.
Don't
understand it.
I don't understand it either. So that was a great ride. We were super excited to go on it. It lived up to the hype, I would say, but it definitely felt like, I said, Test Track with a different flavor.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say about that?
I 100% agreed. It was one of the better rides in all of California Adventure.
Yes.
Very long wait,
Yes.
but worth it for
Yes.
sure. We moved on next door to Avengers Campus for the first time, and we were super excited about that. That was probably one of the things that we were looking forward to the most out in California, because in the last 6-7 years, we've been pretty Marvel obsessed in this house.
Yeah.
You know, the most recent phase was It Is What It Is, but when we were in that window from Avengers Infinity War to Avengers Endgame, and Danny and I went back and watched all of the MCU films in order leading up to Endgame, like we became like nuts about Marvel.
And we've watched all the shows on Disney Plus.
And damn you, Universal, because you're not allowed to have any Marvel stuff here except for Guardians of the Galaxy at Disney. All the Marvel stuff went everywhere else, including Disneyland in California.
Yeah.
And seeing the Avengers campus be built out there and see like the Avengers walking around everywhere, and the rides that were being built and the rides that are being dreamed up and the experiences in Avengers Campus, we were so jealous of that. And I wanted to go to Disneyland so bad to be able to get to California Adventure and go to Avengers Campus. And finally, we had the chance.
Yes.
And currently, the only Avengers ride, I guess you would say right now, aside from one we're going to talk about in a little bit, which I wouldn't necessarily consider an Avengers ride. It was kind of like a converted ride, but we'll talk about that, was the Web Slingers attraction. And this is a Spider-Man attraction where it has this really cool technology where you're riding in these vehicles where you are tasked with shooting spider bots that have taken over Peter Parker's lab with web. And you're not pressing buttons. You're not shooting guns. You're straight up going like this.
But like full extended
the entire
arms.
time. Like you're pumping your fist, like almost like karate class. You're like, huh, 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 huh.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that Toy Story Mania makes me tired, this made me exhausted.
Well, it makes him
My arms were so sore.
When you say it makes you tired, it's not because you're like, oop.
I kicked the camera.
It's not because you're going like, if you're just listening, when the camera's just pointed at the ceiling, Bill disappeared for a second. He was so excited. But you're not just he doesn't just point and shoot. Bill goes all out on these rides.
Well,
like
here's the thing. I'm
he
very
goes
competitive.
at 100%.
I'm very competitive when it comes to this stuff. And so when we got through the first room, because you're basically battling the other people that are in the car with you.
But I mean, like even in Toy Story Mania, you're competitive.
Sure. But when I saw my score after the first experience, like the first room on the ride, and I was so much higher than everybody else, I was like, oh, I got to keep this up. And sure enough, the rest of the attraction is like, bah, 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 bah. Man, I felt like I lifted like 50-pound dumbbells, curls like 100 times. Like my arms were throbbing.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
I thought it was really fun. I did not realize that I had to use my real arms because it's not a short ride.
No, it's not.
So
it
like
kept going.
So like halfway through, you're like trying to like shoot, you know, and after a while you're like,
when is this over?
When is this over? It was really fun. It's just like in order to score really well, you have to be like basically like running like a cheetah with your arms.
Right.
And so that was really fun. I do want to say that the best thing about that area is not only the ride, but every like, I don't know if it's every hour or what it was, but you actually see Spider-Man fly through the air.
Every 30 minutes.
Every 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You see him fly through the air on top of the building. And then Spider-Man crawls down and comes out and meets people.
And if you haven't seen this animatronic or the robot, I guess, that gets flung through the air, that is supposed to be Spider-Man flying through Avengers Campus. There's so many videos of it on YouTube. Disney has official videos of it. It is incredible to see in person. It really does feel like you're watching Spider-Man slinging web through the sky. It's so cool. And then he comes down and does a meet and greet. Super cool. All right. Staying in California Adventure, we made our way over to the big Ferris wheel, which is called the Pixar Pal Round. And we were told, leading into this, don't go on the carts that move. It's really scary. It's super crazy. You're going to hold on for your life. And every time I saw a video, and if you guys are watching on YouTube, youtube.com/a-couple-of-park-hoppers. If you want to check this out, you can watch this on demand when it's uploaded tomorrow. Basically, it was like people who are holding on to this cage that they were sitting in, like almost like a Skyliner car, and like holding on to dear life and being like, "Oh my God, this is so scary!" Like, never in a million years thought that it would be over exaggerating it.
Oh, I was excited to be like thrown
Rolled around, but I was so shocked that there was no seatbelt. So I was like, it can't be that bad, or else they're just asking for a lawsuit.
You know how mad it made me that ride was so gentle on the rough side?
Maybe it was our car.
Nope.
Because we only went on it once.
I have heard from other people be like, oh yeah, people exaggerate that.
Got it.
So I think it looks scarier than it is. Visually, it looks scary.
Because people are acting.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't believe you. I don't believe anybody who is going, oh my goodness, like actually it is No. No.
Because it was fun.
It was swinging a lot for us. It was not scary at all. Like, that was false advertising from all
Yeah.
you influencers.
Right.
Like, not to be a hater, but I was just like, are you for serious? Is it over? Did the scary part happen yet? So, was it beautiful up there? Yes.
Oh yeah, the views were impeccable.
Gorgeous, wind blowing, you can see everything.
You see
it's
everything.
just absolutely stunning. If you are going on Pixar Pal Around to be able to have a like woohoo scary experience, don't skip it. Get out of here. No, like, but go on it for the views.
Haunted Mansion's scarier.
Well, I mean, yes, but like, it's more so that like the swinging, for the life of me, could not believe how gentle it was. It looks so much scarier than it actually is.
It always dumbfounded me, like I said, that they didn't have seatbelts in there if it was going to be that crazy.
And that's just proof of how gentle it is.
Yeah.
It does not need seatbelts.
Yeah.
You can sit facing strangers in that ride and not be flung into them.
Right.
Without seatbelts. That amazing ride, beautiful. Stop acting like it's scary, y'all. Y'all got to stop.
Yeah. I think we're in full agreement on that one.
And I want to say what we were going to do is we were going to ride. We rode with two strangers the first time, and then we were like, we're going to ride again and like get our reactions because like it's going to be so scary. We didn't ride again because it wasn't scary.
Yeah.
Our reactions would have been like, wee, yay, pretty view.
Yeah.
And that's not a fun video to watch. But very fun to finally be able to go on that ride, I would say.
For sure.
So we're still on day 2. Next, we went to Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. I did just want to go back for a moment because I don't think we ever put it on here.
I was just thinking the same thing.
We met Spider-Man.
Oh, that's not what I was talking about.
Oh.
Go ahead. Go ahead with that.
I'm almost positive we met Spider-Man that day.
We did.
I talked about a minute ago, you get a chance to an opportunity to meet Spider-Man. He's actually outside, out and about, which is not something that happens a lot at Disney World because it's so hot. And if they are out, it's very like minimal, and there's not like a line or anything like that usually. Meeting Spider-Man was so much fun. He was so fun and so nice. He did all sorts of cool like superhero poses, and the line wasn't very long, which was wonderful because he meets so often. I do have to say that we did get to meet plenty of the
Avengers.
That
was really
around,
neat.
and not only meet them, but we got to see a lot of them walking around. We are going to share a video of some of those Avengers that we got to meet on our socials at a later time, hopefully soon. I think maybe this week, maybe.
Full disclosure, we did not take a lot of vloggy type video out there because we were out there to vacation.
Yeah,
and
we
enjoy
haven't been on
it for the first
vacation.
time and like truly take advantage of what I was able to earn. And
Yes.
just we wanted to go out there and enjoy it, and so we didn't want to vlog the entire time. We certainly took some videos and pictures and all that, and we're always planning on doing this episode to recap everything for you guys, but we never planned on doing a vlog, so you will not see a vlog.
Yeah, but you will get to see bits and pieces and photos that we're going to be sharing this week. We've been holding on to them until we did this episode.
Yeah, correct.
So, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that we did get to see so many Avengers walking around. You would like look up and Loki would be walking by, Black Panther, Ant-Man. You'd hear like music, and all of a sudden a bunch of Avengers would be gathering in the middle of the courtyard. Like, it was so cool and so immersive.
Yeah.
And you could see some of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and you could catch them at the next ride we went to, which was Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Now, this ride may be familiar to those of you who have been to Walt Disney World. It is Tower of Terror reimagined. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout is basically exactly that. They took Tower of Terror and they gave it a Guardians of the Galaxy overlay. They play Guardians of the Galaxy type of music. There is a Rocket Raccoon animatronic that's super adorable in the pre-show, and they just gave it the overall Guardians of the Galaxy
Love.
Yeah. Uh,
It made a scary ride really fun.
yeah, I would say that this ride was very fun. It's Tower of Terror. I love Tower of Terror.
Because in Orlando, you got the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, and it's like dark and thunder night in 1939, and a thing happened where people died, and you're going through this creepy hallway, and you're going into a dark elevator, up and down, up and down. Whereas Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like, oh no, we're taking over your cart, and we're gonna play some music, and we're gonna jam out, and we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna go up and down and up and up and up and down and up and down. And it never really felt like scary per se.
Yes.
It felt like thrilling fun.
So I will say that if I was going to compare the two, Guardians of the Galaxy is yay and Tower of Terror is ah.
Yeah, essentially.
The vibes are so different, but I think it's a great ride to have right there. And, you know, for us, where we've wanted so much Avengers stuff and Marvel stuff, it was just such a breath of fresh air to get to experience these rides.
Yeah.
And just be immersed in Avengers Campus, the Marvel world, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Finally.
Yeah. The last attraction that we ended up going on that night was the Little Mermaid Ariel's Undersea Adventure. And didn't know it was going to be an exact copy because the outside facade and building is very different looking. But it is basically the same ride that's in Fantasyland at Magic Kingdom.
It's the same.
It was really cute. It was towards the end of the day. But the thing that we left off of our list that I completely forgot to put on there is we did the World of Color dessert party that night.
Oh, wow.
It's not on there at all.
We did it that night?
We did it that night because we went on it after Ariel.
Full disclosure, that night, our dog Simba decided to do something super strange on the cameras, and I panicked, and he was fine. He was being dramatic.
She always panics. I
I
always tell her she's going to be fine.
He's the baby, and if I call
we
him...
have a great babysitter. Shout out Maya. We love you.
Yes, we love you, Maya. But that is probably why it's not on there, because I distracted us, or Simba distracted us.
But World of Color has always been something that I've wanted to see. It's been on my Disney bucket list for a very long time. A good friend of mine, Tony, who works for laughingplace.com and a couple other websites, he and I are both equally obsessed with World of Color. But he grew up in California, so he went to Disneyland a lot. And so he saw the OG World of Color. He saw a bunch of different World of Color versions, the holiday versions, all kinds of stuff. I had never seen it until we went out there on this trip. And they had a new one. It was called World of Color. What was it called? World of Color Celebrate, I think it was called.
All I remember is it had the Inside Out.
Inside Out. It had a Muppets pre-show, which was fun.
Yeah.
But it was a new World of Color for the 70th anniversary of Disneyland.
Yes.
And I would usually never do something like this because I'm just not a big sweets person or overpay for these kind of experience type things. But everything I had seen about World of Color, that it was kind of a nightmare to get a good spot to watch it. And there was basically a virtual queue to get into the area to watch it in front of the fountains.
Yes.
And once you're in the virtual queue, it's kind of like watching the fireworks at Magic Kingdom. Like, short people, you're SOL. And the only...
That's me.
The only way to get a prime spot for World of Color was to do the dining package where you got a meal, kind of like how Epcot does their dining packages for the concerts and all that. You get a meal and then you get a premier spot to stand. But the World of Color dessert party actually offered desserts, alcoholic beverages, and a really cool little pin that came with it, like a trading pin. But you also got seats in the the upper level of the patio where you watch World of Color. And one of the options for the seats was at a high top table. So I was like, you know what? If I want to go see this thing, I'm going to do it big. And I want to make sure Danny can see it. And she's above the people. So we booked the dessert party and we got a high top table. And the view was awesome.
The view was awesome. I will say I'm usually not that big of a fan of the water shows with the projections. I wear glasses to
see.
Well, yeah, but also like I don't need them all the time.
Right.
And so sometimes the water shows make me feel like I need to put on my glasses, and it's just the way a projection looks.
Right.
But I thought this was absolutely incredible. I love the Inside Out characters, but I would love to go back and do the dessert party again. I would do it again. You get a pin, you get to sit, you get a drink, you get yummy food. It
was kind of like fancy charcuterie and dessert in a box.
I would
you got.
I would 100% go do that again.
I'm not sure if it was worth $99.
I think that the fact that we didn't do any other like big fancy
right,
meals,
and that's why I wanted to do it.
I would definitely
figured that was our splurge.
I would definitely do it again because even like those just having like a pin we're pin collectors, like, and getting to be able to see everything was really cool. I do think that my favorite was the Muppet pre-show, honestly.
It was not my favorite World of Color version.
I'm glad you said that because I don't want to feel like
no.
a party pooper by saying that the pre-show, but the pre-show is part of the show.
But I've only ever seen it on video. But I love the soundtracks from the other ones.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was really good. It was beautiful. The fountains and the fire effects and the projections and the lighting and everything is just so incredible.
Yeah.
It's a must do. If you're going to Disneyland, you got to go see World of Color.
I honestly think that splurging on that was something that I would do again, because I think can ruin the experience, like trying to watch a show and not being able to see anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd rather just leave. Like, I'd rather do something else than just stare at the back of people's heads.
Agreed.
And so I love that we did that. I think that I'm excited to see whatever they have the next time we can go.
Yeah.
Because that would be worth it to also, splurge again for
sure.
something like that.
For sure.
And also, normally we do character meals and stuff like that. We didn't do that this time around. And so I did like getting to do something different. Now, aside from getting to do the Amazing World of Color dessert party and get those seats, we also got to eat some of the food at California Adventure and at Downtown Disney. So the first thing we did was we decided to eat at Pim's, which that food is supposed to be like super iconic.
Yeah, it's Pim's Test Kitchen. A lot of crazy sized foods and portions, and like giant piece of chicken on a tiny little bun, like as if Ant-Man and Hank Pym were like messing with the size of things. That's kind of what the theming was going for as far as Pim's Test Kitchen goes.
Yeah, and we'll actually go over something else we ate from there later. But that day, on day 2, we ate the not so little chicken sandwich and the humongous taco salad. I thought both were good. I thought the taco salad was better than the chicken sandwich.
Agreed with that. And the chicken sandwich was like the thing that I wanted to get because it looked so funny.
Yes.
The giant piece of chicken on like a tiny little bun.
It was like a biscuit-sized bun.
Yeah. It was like a slider bun, basically.
With like a plate-sized piece of chicken.
Right.
So that was really fun to get to eat there. We also got to go over to Cars Land and eat the chili cone queso.
Which was very good.
And the banana cream churro in Cars Land. Both of them were very good. The chili cone queso, I would say, was probably my favorite out of those.
Of the whole day?
I would say so.
Yeah, I would say that, honestly.
It had very good flavor.
Yeah, the chili was delicious.
Yeah, and there was plenty of chili, which sometimes, when you order something that has like mac and cheese and chili, it's like mac and cheese, chili. Just like a little sprinkle of chili.
And the bread, like the cone that it was in, was very, very reminiscent of like...
So good.
Like if you've been to Epic Universe, it's kind of like the mac and cheese cones, similar, but a little bit different.
Well, this one actually it reminded me if you were making like croissants
Yeah.
at home. It was like swirled around, and you could
It was
almost
a literal
like
cone.
peel it. So that was really, really well made and very good. You had to get in line to order it though, because once they start running out of them, they don't let you mobile order.
Yeah.
So worth it, but we got to eat all of that. And then at the end of the night, we realized we are hungry. Everything we've eaten was way earlier in the day, and now it's really late. Late for Disney time, at least. So we went to Black Tap Burgers and Shakes. Do you remember anything about this? Because I do.
I do. So one thing that we realized very quickly out there is the parks are open late, which is great. Disneyland's open till 11. California was open till 10. Usually it's open till midnight, I believe, Disneyland. But for some reason, the 4 days we were there, and only the 4 days we were there, it was closing at 11.
And also, the times on the app are not correct.
Yes, correct. But when you leave the parks, you're entering downtown Disney, where you think like, maybe there's something to eat or whatever there.
And that's where the times are not correct.
and everything closed. Like World of Disney was closing as we were leaving the park. Most of the food was closing. The only things that you could really get were Wetzel's Pretzels and the place that we went to. It's called Black Tap Burgers and Shakes. And it was really the only like late night food that you could get because all the park food was closed. Everything else was closed. That was really our only option. The quick services at the resorts were closed. And so we went in there, and I'm going to let you take this one because you seemed like you had a story. So go for it.
Oh, I got I'm trying to remember exactly what I got. I think I got a burger and a side salad, and they gave me a side salad that was just lettuce.
There's no dressing or anything on it?
Mm-mm. And, well, they had put, when I say just lettuce, they had sprinkled some Parmesan cheese on it.
Yeah.
So it was just lettuce and Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
It was like I was a sad rabbit.
Dry as a bone.
Dry as a bone. And then I had asked for extra pickles, and they gave us like 3 pickles. So I will say that
the burger was good.
Burger was good. I will say that it was vastly overpriced.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Like when we ordered it, they were like $7,000, and I was like,
no, it was like 40 something bucks for the two of us.
It was. I'm pretty sure it felt like it was more than that.
No, it was like 42, 43, something like that.
It was just so, and that was with like
cast member discount.
Yes, like I was just shocked. I was like, what?
Yeah.
For that? And then they didn't get the order
too,
right. I did get I got a cookies and cream shake. But like I was super excited to eat my salad, and then by the time we were in the room, they were already closed, and we had already walked back to the resort. So I was like, okay, so I do think we learned, like, get your food earlier in the day. Don't wait till the end of the day when you do this.
Don't leave the park hungry.
Don't pay $7,000 for a burger and lettuce on the side.
Yeah. And there was a taco place that we ended up going later in the trip.
It was so good.
But it said that they were open.
That's what I'm saying.
And we walked up and they were not open.
And I think at that point you had run over to go check for it. Yeah. And when you ran over, you texted me and you were like, closed. And I was like, it shouldn't be.
Right.
So that's the food we ate. It feels like we ate a lot more, but we still didn't eat as much because we were having so much fun. By the end of the day, you're like, okay, now I've realized I'm hungry.
Right, exactly.
But that was the end of our day 2. So we spent first day at Disneyland, second day at Disney's California Adventure. So day 3, we wanted to spend a full day at Disneyland Park. So, because our first day there hadn't been a full day.
Correct.
So the first thing that we wanted to do when we went to Disneyland, back into Disneyland, is we wanted to see Walt Disney A Magical Life. So that's the Walt Disney animatronic that they have playing in the same theater as the Abe Lincoln.
Great moments with Mr. Lincoln.
Great moments with Mr. Lincoln. How did you feel about this?
I thought the show itself before you saw the Walt animatronic was really long.
It was really
it
long.
it was a really beautiful film that was narrated by Bob Iger, and you had a lot of different Walt moments and things from his life and a lot of his recorded voice. But it felt like it went on for a while.
Yeah.
Because you're waiting for that grand reveal of the curtain to come up and there's Walt standing in front of you. Finally, it did, and it was really neat to see that in person. Because when it started a couple of weeks before that, there was a lot of video and photos going around, and people were dumping on it, like real bad, saying it didn't look like Walt, or it looks way different, or whatever they were saying. People were, because the theme park community never reacts rationally to anything. They were very negative about what they saw. I was always going to give it the benefit of the doubt because I figured that it would look much better in person than it would photograph, because animatronics never photograph well, ever. And the fact that they didn't use any sort of weird projection skin face stuff, and it's like actual, like the pliable skin for Walt. I thought the animatronic itself was incredibly impressive. Basically what it does, it's starting the scene with the animatronic. It starts with him sitting on his desk talking to you, and then he stands up and takes a couple of steps towards you, and it's like, whoa, that is crazy that he just like stood up and started walking. Like, surreal to see that in person, that a freaking animatronic just did that. Could the visual and the look of his face be better? Yes. But I'm going to give the Imagineers the benefit of the doubt, because they are the most incredible minds in that industry. The people that, especially the people who are probably tasked to work on Walt's animatronic, were probably the best of the best. And with the current technology and their abilities, because they're inventing stuff all the time, these guys are absolutely brilliant. The way that they had to build it to allow the eyes and the mouth to move along with the voice in the way that it did, and how incredibly well it matched it, there had to have been an incredible amount of mechanics in that head. And it was never going to be perfect, because when you look at old footage or old photos of Walt Disney, he's got a little bit of like a taller, skinnier head, where I'm not sure they were able to capture that with robotics
Right.
in the animatronic's head.
Right.
So it needed to be like a little bit wider, kind of like more misshapen than it actually looked like. But when you are in there and you're immersed in the experience, that you're in Walt's office and he's standing there talking to you and you're hearing him talk, it definitely took me like into it. I was really, really impressed by the actual show of the experience. Do I think that hopefully they're working on something that, because they announced that for the Carousel of Progress in Walt Disney World,
Yes.
they're actually going to have another Walt animatronic there to open the show. Because right now it starts with the voiceover and a little bit of Walt's audio. But now there's going to be, eventually there's going to be a new pre-show at Carousel Progress
to
that's
bring
going to
more
feature
people
Walt.
into that ride.
Exactly. I'm hoping that they can tweak it enough where it looks more like Walt's actual likeness. But overall, I was really impressed.
I do have to say, based off of what you said, I guarantee you, if I were a betting woman, I would bet that they are working on fixing
Polishing.
polishing, and adjusting the things that make the animatronic look like the My Pillow guy.
Gosh.
And I will say 1000%, I was like, I don't know if he really looks like the My Pillow guy in real life. Like the animatronic, It does. It looks like the
In
My Pillow.
photos, it looks
Oh no,
interesting.
with my eyes it looks like the My Pillow guy. And maybe it's just some of the attributes that, like you explained, there were more mechanics in the neck that gave him a thicker neck. They didn't make him, I don't know if they made him as tall as he appears usually on TV, but what I was thinking about was the fact when we used to watch Walt Disney in video, we're either at eye level or above him.
Right.
We were watching from below him.
Mm-hmm.
So because of those things, I don't know if it skewed what he looked like to us, because I don't think we ever had the Wonderful World of Disney where we were at Walt's feet.
Yeah.
We didn't, that there weren't.
One thing I want to point out for the haters out there. Here's the thing. Walt Disney would have loved this. Why do I know that, or how do I know that? Here's how I know that. When Walt Disney had the idea of creating the animatronic for Mr. Lincoln, he was told by many people, don't do it. It's a historical figure. You're never going to be able to get the likeness. People are going to hate it. Don't do it. He was like, no, we're doing it because I love American history. People deserve to see it. People will be blown away when that guy stands up out of his chair and talks to them. And Walt Disney ultimately has the final say for everything that goes on at Disney when he was alive.
Sure. And
he pushed for the Mr. Lincoln. And we don't know exactly what Abraham looked like. He died in 1865. We don't know. There's no like real photos of him. There's portraits, but there's no real photos. So we don't know exactly what he looked like. And Walt was definitely being told not to do it because it wouldn't actually, a mechanical thing could never reproduce what a human can do in the face. And even 60, 70 years later, clearly that still wasn't the case, but they got pretty darn close. And I think Walt would be really impressed with what they did.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I will say that as somebody who is definitely a magical crier, the thing that I expected by having Walt come to life in front of me was I thought it would make me emotional. And I think it's magical, but I don't know. I wish there's a little something missing from it for me. And as somebody who is always a magical crier, that's something that I think that is a testament to my experience, that I didn't really feel any kind of special emotions or like, emotions that made me cry or feel like goosebumpy. I was just like, oh, that's really cool. So I am excited to see how they,
adjust.
Yeah, because honestly, my tear ducts tend to be the best judge of
sure.
what kind of magic
you're definitely
they
a
brought.
magical crier for sure. But yeah, that was I loved it. I really enjoyed that show. I would definitely go back when we're back out there at some point, just to see it again. Maybe from a different vantage point, because we were like way down in front. I'd like to see it like further back and see what it looks like, just to see what the animatronic looks like from different perspectives.
Yeah, and one thing that not enough people are talking about is the outside of where the animatronic is basically like a Walt Disney museum.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's so cool. So many artifacts, so many historical items, so many things on loan from like the Walt Disney Family Museum. But enough of talking about the Walt Disney Magical Life. We have a lot of stuff to cover here, but definitely go see it. There's no reason why you shouldn't go see it.
Yeah,
I thought it was really impressive.
It's definitely worth seeing. That's the thing. The technology is absolutely incredible and has never been done before. And I will say I commend the Imagineers for even taking on creating a real person animatronic, like you said.
And somebody as historical and beloved as Walt Disney.
Yeah. And from my understanding, and I don't know if this is correct, but his family saw it and they were like, no, that's him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ultimately, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Like, none of us knew him.
Somebody created an animatronic of my dad and I said it was okay, then nobody else's opinion matters.
Yeah. No, I mean,
straight up. I wouldn't want to see him in an animatronic of my dad. That'd be kind of scary.
I would love to see what kind of theme park your dad came up with, though.
Right. Oh my gosh. Or your dad too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That would be amazing. Well,
speaking of animatronics,
we are going to, I think that what we should do today is, because we do still have so much to talk about, I think let's finish up day 3. And then why don't we continue with everybody for the rest of our trip later? Why don't we talk about the rest of day 3 like we're on? Does that sound like a good idea?
Put a nice little tease at the end there.
Yeah, I do think that, we have so much to talk about when it comes to Disneyland because it is a huge park.
And this was our busiest day.
Yeah, this is our busiest day. So we're going to go ahead and talk about day 3. And this was our full day at Disneyland, and we did have quite a bit of wonderful things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing is, like you said, animatronics. We went over to Pirates of the Caribbean. Caribbean?
However you want to say it.
Caribbean.
They say Caribbean, but I say Caribbean.
I will say that this ride is leaps and bounds better than our ride.
Oh my gosh, it was so cool.
It was.
And the loading area was awesome too.
I wish we had been able to go on it more than once.
Yeah.
We never got to go back to this ride, but it is so much more intricate and beautiful and kind of scary.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot more like skeletons and stuff in there.
And there's 2 drops.
At Walt Disney World, the very last room with Captain Jack Sparrow, surrounded by gold. He's like talking. He's in a rocking chair. It felt like all of the rooms at Disneyland were like that, but just greatly expanded.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were scenes. It didn't feel like it was one long trip through the Pirates of the Caribbean. It felt like there were every room was a different scene. And it almost, I want to say this is an older ride, but it felt newer.
Yeah, for sure. The technology was really neat in there. There's a lot of really cool projections and a lot of animatronics in there. For a classic ride that's been around for a very long time, very impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive. And it's the OG, too.
Yeah. Speaking of OGs, after we went on Pirates of the Caribbean, we went over to your favorite ride.
Not my favorite ride, but
your favorite ride.
But I love it.
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise. You can't go to Disney without going on the Jungle Cruise.
I am the person that everyone has to bring on Jungle Cruise because our Jungle Cruise is not one of my favorite rides. I think it's fun and classic, but take me to Animal Kingdom. The whole point of Jungle Cruise is that Walt wanted to have real animals in that ride, but then figured out that was impossible to do. And so they created animatronics. I definitely prefer to have go on the safari. The only cool thing about this, in my opinion, was that Walt did it.
Sure. But I'm not going on the Jungle Cruise to see animals. Well, I know they're not real.
Sure.
I'm going on safaris to see animals because that's a very different experience. But the Jungle Cruise, in and of itself, is a marvel. The fact that it opened in the 50s is crazy.
Yeah.
Walt's original idea was supposed to be like the safaris.
That's what I just said. But he figured out he couldn't.
Correct. You can't have animals like popping out of the water at the right time. Like you just can't do that. Straight up. So he had to have animatronics. And the fact they were able to create these really lifelike animals in the 50s, incredible. Absolutely amazing. The Jungle Cruise evolved into something different over time where the skippers were punderful and making lots of fun jokes. And I love a good pun.
But
So that's why
why-
I love the Jungle Cruise.
But why did they become punderful?
Because the ride got old.
Because the ride got old.
But then it revitalized it, and it's one of the most popular rides in the park.
Yeah. I mean, people love that ride. I will say I'm not the biggest fan. I'll go on it.
I want to make one point about the Disneyland Jungle Cruise.
Okay, go ahead.
I liked it better for one single solitary reason. They didn't have that stupid temple out in Disneyland.
Yeah.
I don't understand why on the Walt Disney World version of the Jungle Cruise, where you go through this like weird golden temple with golden statues and creepy music, and the skipper doesn't talk for 2 minutes, and the lights get turned off in the boat, and we're just gliding through. I don't understand what the point of that is. And the fact that there wasn't that temple on this Jungle Cruise made the Disneyland version infinitely better for me. Because I love everything outside of that temple, but every time we go into that temple, I'm like, meh. Can we skip this? No, we can't. Okay, fine. We'll just deal with it. Whatever. But not having that temple scene made it that much better for me.
Yeah, I do think also that it feels like the original Jungle Cruise has been better taken care of. It felt like, because it was like hand created by Walt, because when you went through it, it felt more loved. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Agreed.
Here's a great example. More recently, we went on the Spaceship Earth. We went on that ride after it reopened. The animatronics look like they've all had the oil squeezed into their joints.
They crushed it.
Everything's moving. Everything looks beautiful. Everything's moving. Everything feels so alive.
Even that first scene when you're going in and you see like the woolly mammoths and the cavemen are battling.
Yes.
That used to be so dark you could barely see it.
Yes.
And now it's like beautiful HD, like up on the wall. Like loved it.
Our Jungle Cruise feels like the Spaceship Earth before it got its facelift and love when it was closed recently. And Disneyland's feels like the after, where everything feels more alive and just more squeaky clean, and just overall almost like I said, because Walt laid hands on it, that almost it's been treated with more reverence. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what it feels like when you go on it.
Right. I agree.
But we got to go on Jungle Cruise. We have one of those here. But I definitely think that this one felt more shiny and new, even though it was older.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
We have actually hit our halfway point.
Oh my gosh.
Through our trip.
And we are a good ways in here. So versus having a 3-hour trip recap.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to do a classic tease. And we're going to give you the rest of our Disneyland trip, starting with a really cool magical moment that happened to Danny and me. I was there. To start our part 2 of our Disneyland recap episode.
Yeah, I agree. And so that we're not bringing you a 3-hour episode, today's going to be part 1. We're halfway through our trip, and then we're going to pick up exactly where we left off at very magical moments.
Very magical moment. Arguably the most magical moment I've ever experienced at any Disney park.
Wow, that's a lot.
How's that for a tease?
That's saying a lot. And you proposed.
I did.
At Disney.
I mean, directly from Disney, not me doing it at Disney.
Fair enough. I was about to say.
Because the engagement was definitely the most magical moment I've ever experienced at a Disney park.
You hitting a knee will always be the most magical moment for me.
But I did that. I was the magic.
I was the magic. All right. Well, I think this is a great time to stop. We're halfway through. Thank you so much for joining us on our adventure out to Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure. We're only halfway through our trip, and the thing is, we love talking about this because this is our first experience here, and we wanted to bring you with us. So make sure that you are following us on all of our socials. If you're watching this on YouTube, please follow us, leave a comment, send to a friend, and follow us on all forms of social media. We are going to be sharing videos and pictures from this trip now that we've been holding on tightly to, and we are so excited to be able to continue sharing this trip with you and giving you our final thoughts about everything, because there's so much that we haven't talked about: food, experiences, and like Bill said, that very, very magical experience.
Stay tuned. It is a story you will not want to miss.
But until next time,
we'll see you on our next adventure.